We are back with another winner circle from Can-Am. Yes, the winner circle that everybody loves from the nasty track of the North. Hold on. So I paused that and it came unpaused. So let's jump right into the action. A awesome night of racing. 22 modified, 358 modifieds, 24 sportsmen, 7 62 sprints, Thunder Cars 10, and Limited Sportsman 9. So a good set of field. We're going to start off with the Limited Sportsman for their heats. Well, hot laps first. We're going to do hot laps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do hot laps for each one of them. And then we'll jump more into it. So the hot laps, the fastest shoe on the circuit for the hot laps for the 30th was Brandon Howard, 21.006. Fifth went to second, and that was the 14 of Kim Cook, 21.2661. So the heats went like this. Your dancing partner for the start of the feature was Haley Brownen, and her dancing partner was the 63M of Anthony Brownen. So we had, I'm not sure if these are related. It doesn't look like they're in the same town, but they might be related. Kim Cook, the 14, went from 4th to 1st, and you guys can read this right along in the description. Brandon Howard, the 54, went from 6th to 2nd in the heat. Top 5 qualified and transferred. 63M of Anthony Brownen went from 2nd to 3rd and got a little bit. I mean, you could tell that some of the cars weren't running that well. The third place cars who started 3rd and ended up 4th was the 21 of Gannon Howard. Generally, Bartlett started 5th and finished 5th. Top 5 transferred. You're next up, the 602 crates, the Panther Framework 602 crates. This is how their heat went down. Tucker Donathan went into first and stayed there through the whole 6 laps. The 87 of Andrew Ness wanted to go from 5th to 2nd and try to get up to 1st. The 1V of Josh Venn Jr. went from 7th to 3rd, and the 30 of Ken Kaiskinen went from 3rd back to 4th. Top 4 transferred. Their hot laps, the hot shoe on the track was the 22Z of Tucker Donathan with a 19.545. Their heats were awesome. The next up was the Bob Johnson Big 358 modified with the hot shoe in the hot laps was the 22.8 of Jordan McCready. His father recently passed away. He went from 22nd to 1st. 3 laps for this one. The 49 of Billy Dunn went from 4th to 5th in hot laps. His hot lap time was 20.378. And the 25R of Preston Forbes went from 5th to 3rd, and his fast time lap was 20.308. The 11th place car went to 4th, and that was Franklin Meeks of the 3M, and he scored a 20.488. The top 5 one was Jackson Meeks, and the number 1 went from 12th to 5th, and his fastest time was 20.0 20.59229. Their heat laps, the first heat of the night for the three Whiteboro Plow Shop went like this. The 18W of Scott Webb went from 5th to 1st in the 18W. 6 of Brandon Hudson went from 1st and fell back to 6th. Jordan McCready in the 28 went from 7th to 3rd. And 57 Remington went from 2nd to 4th in his final heat. Heat 2, top 4 transfer to Heat 2. The number 1 of 9 of Jackson Meek stayed in first, followed by Lance Wilkes in the 39, went from 7th to 2nd. Ryan Bartlett in the 39 went from 5th to 3rd. And the 7S of Sean Shaw went from 4th and stayed there. Billy Dunn did not transfer, but did go to the feature. The number 3rd in the final heat of the big block 358 modifieds was the 27 of Nick Webb. He went from 1st and stayed there. The 3M of Frank Meeks went from 3rd to 2nd, and Tim Fuller, the 19, went from 7th to 3rd. The number 4th of the 66W of Derek Webb, and I am going to be interviewing him. I thought the interview of that was that night. It isn't. It's August. I updated it. I am so sorry if you guys were looking for that, because there is a lot of people that I want to interview, but not a lot of time. So he stayed in 4th, and it was it was really good. If you look at the videos, please give the videos a like. Finally, in the heats, the Bob Johnson Sportsmen and their hot laps went like this. In the first place, went from 7th to 1st, the 410 of Mike Fowler. He scored his fastest lap of 20.2 or 822. And the second place went from 6th to 2nd. Hold on. Went from 6th to 2nd went from starting 6th and went to 2nd was the 18 of Gavin Isley. The 3rd place stayed in 3rd place, and that was the 64 of Tyler Corcoran. The 34 of Eric Nyers went from 15th all the way up to 4th in his heat, our hot laps, and the Fox 28 went from 24th to 5th. That was Tyler Stevenson. Gavin Isley's hot lap was 21.57. Tyler Corcoran's numbers were for fastest lap was 21.239. Eric Nyers 21.234. Fox 28 21.208 or 80. And we're going to be talking about some things. And kids, you might want to pay some attention after I get all these done. And the last heat of the night was the Thunderstock. And their hot laps, only half of them went out. Only half of them went out. Was the 22J of Jordan Gilson. He went from 4th to 1st, and his hot laps, his fastest one was 24.2 or 5.25. The 26R of Damian Beckler went from 1st and fell back to 2nd, and his fastest hot lap was 25.038. The 111 of Anthony St. Mary Sr. went from 7th and finished 3rd. His time hot lap time was 26.656. And the last one, the 41 of Terry Gardner, and the 41 went from third and fell back to fourth. His fastest time was 27.258. Now for the feature, the Donna Motorworks Limited Sportsman, the hot shoe of the night, Logan Brown went from 9th and started 8th and went to 1st, the hot shoe on the track. And Logan Brown is only, and I am not joking you, his age. I mean, half these drivers, you think when you see them, they're older. Logan Brown, only 13 years old, been racing since 2016. That's young. The next one on the circuit. 1 minute. The next one on the circuit for trying to get to the win was Kim and Cook, the 14. He went from third to second. Andrew Brown Howard in the 54 went from fifth to third. In the 163M, Anthony Brown went from first and fell back to third or fourth. Another one that is not that old, and I'm gonna make sure I double check this when I do the interview, is the Genevieve Bartlett. She is only, I'm not sure if this has been updated or not. In her info, it says that she was age 12, but I'm not sure if that's the right age. Some of the drivers, whoever does the page, they're not updating the page at a weekly year. But your winner for the Donna Motorworks Sportsman was Logan Brown. He is the hot shoe on the track. I think in the hot laps and in the heats he held back, and then when it's time to go to work, he really opens it up. In the 358 modifieds, your winning team and back to the winning circle was Tim Fuller, the 19. Started 12th and finished first. Billy Dunn, he tried to reel him in. He went from 14th and went all the way up to second place. The 6 of Brandon Hudson went from first to third. 9 of Meeks went from second to fourth. And you're rounding out the top 5. Nick Webb in the 27 went from third to fifth. Your next heat feature for the night was the Sportsman, and their heat for a 20-lap feature go. The number 1 that stayed at the top was the Taylor Dockstader, and the number 2 started first and finished. The 410 of Mike Fowler went from 14th to second, and the number 6 of Jessica Power, the 52, went from 6th to 3rd. Tyler Corcoran in the number 64 went from 11th to 4th. And rounding out the top 5, Gavin Isley in the 18 went from 9th to 5th. Your next one, the Thunder Cars, and their feature went like this. Well, I don't know if I did this, but I'm going to do it again. In the Panther Frameworks, went from the 87 of Andrew Ness went from third to first. The 1V of Josh Van Jr. went from fourth to second. And the 28 of Donner Tuckerton started first and went back to fourth. Kevin Keisley went from third to second to fourth. And the number 5 was Jordan Stanford. In the 25 went from 6th back to 5th. Up to 5th. And the Thunder Cars, the last one of the night, the last feature, Justin Pope went from fourth to first, and the number second place that started second and finished was the 22 of Tony Fresno. And the number second and third spot, the sixth spot car, the 6 of Francis White, started sixth and finished third. And the number 1 spot, Jordan Gilson in the 22J, started first and fell back to fourth. Your top 5 of the Sundance Legion Thunder cars: the 26R of Damian Beckler started 5th and finished 5th. The next race of next week in the 6th of 7 is the Pit Crew Showdown. So that will be kind of cool. And that will run like this. The Classic, the Whitesboro Plow Shop 358 Modifieds will be taking the start, followed by the Bob Johnson Dirt Car Sportsman, the Panther Frameworks 602 Crate Sprints, and the Sundance Legion Thunder cars. The Dynamo Works Limited Sportsman will be on hand for this next week, and the Mechanics Race. I do not know how they're going to work that. That is the next week, 6 days away. Now, if the rain holds out, which I'm hoping it does, we will have an awesome show. If you guys don't want to give this, I hope you guys give this a like, because the more likes, I guess with YouTube's algorithm, the more likes it gets, the more people share. A couple of my videos have already went over 1,000 views. One of my trains has went over 1,000. So the next week's winter weather is rain. I'm hoping that clears out, because you guys are enjoying the videos. I'm enjoying the track. My hands off to all the men and women that race out there, and the staff and crew out there. I made them 6 batches of cookies. I wish I could have taken pictures of it. And, it was a good night of racing, and some people got some sweets. But I will see you guys next week. Hopefully I can get some more trains. I'm glad you guys liked the military train. That was actually special. I wasn't sure if I was going to get that one. But I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place for the Winner Circle. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click the like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I know there's some of you that are not subscribed. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.